Dr. Nathan Thompson here with Exemplify Health Center, your Wellness Way affiliate right here in Yorkville, Illinois. Thanks for joining us for this live. We have a very special guest for you. Ladies, if you're watching right now, go ahead and get your husband or make sure you share this with them because we have a really, really special guest who's going to talk to you about some things that are going to pertain specifically to your spouse. In fact, coming up July 18th is when we're going to be kicking off our Man Up event, and we are going to be taking, number one, we're going to be showing men how and why their testosterone actually struggles and how they can actually get that way up by actually first and foremost doing lifestyle. So changing their lifestyle. And we're going to show you the reasons why a man's testosterone is going to suffer, but we're also going to give you the answers. We're going to give you the solutions on what a man can do in order to get their testosterone up very quickly. Because when you look at today, you see that men's testosterone has actually decreased by about 40% over the last 40 years. So we're going to be going over on that day some of the reasons why. We're going to be giving you a solution as well. We're also going to be having a very special guest. Our guest celebrity at this event is going to be Joe L. All right. Joe L., how are you doing?
Doing great. How are you?
All right. So special guest, I'm doing awesome. So our special guest on our live today, but also our special guest for our Man Up event on July 18th, kicking off at 10 o'clock in the morning at Exemplify Health Center. Joe, give us a little bit of background about why you are our special guest. Give us your background about why I want you to come to that event and speak.
Well, I think with your event, you want to go over two important things, which is testosterone and how men can get that where it needs to be. And then also, in order to do that, getting in the right mindset, which mindset is the key factor in a lot of anything you do in life. So, I think those are a couple of the big reasons you'd like me there.
Well, of course, and this is why I want you to talk about mindset, because you have obviously have had the right mindset, and you have achieved great things with the mindset. And I know you don't like to brag or anything, but tell us about what you did in the past.
So I was a Navy SEAL, had a great time doing that. And obviously that's a huge part of mindset. And with the mindset comes other aspects of your life as far as success in other areas, after the military. So I've been doing executive protection. I do protection for high net worth families, individuals, and that sort of thing. And then do a lot of other business ventures and stay super busy with that. But yeah, the mindset piece is so important. And that's what, we'd like to get into with a lot of the men is getting in that proper mindset for what we want to be doing and also for your personal life.
Yeah. So, if anybody didn't realize this, that Joe was a former SEAL. Okay. So the elite of the elite, the best of the best. He's the guy they call in when the what hits the fan and to take care of business. All right. So I know he doesn't like to brag about it a lot, but I have known Joe. Joe and I have been friends for, I don't know, over 35 years. And I remember this. So I remember Joe telling me that he wanted to be a SEAL. And I'll be honest, I didn't think he could do it. And that's not a knock against Joe. It's just how many people actually say they want to be a SEAL and actually become a SEAL. Do you know what percentage, Joe?
It's pretty low. I mean, I think the reason you thought I wasn't going to make it because I really didn't know how to swim when I joined the Navy. So that may have been one of the reasons. But yeah, it's a super low percentage. The percentages now are a little bit different because guys are more prepared to enter the process. So it hasn't gotten any easier. That's for sure. But yeah, it's a very low percent. So, if you just talk to anybody and they say, yeah, I want to be a SEAL, a lot of people just, okay, whatever. Let's see if it actually happens.
Yeah. And the thing is that you know, the reason why the success rate is so low. It has nothing to do with ability, does it?
No, that's a very simple initial screen test that determines if you have what it takes to get in. And that's the funny thing, because you know, a lot of people and a lot of younger kids that want to go become SEALs are always asking like, what workouts can I do, and all that sort of thing. And that's a very important piece of it. But it's really the mental side of it that's the most important, the mindset piece. You know, the screen test is a fairly easy test compared to what you do throughout training. So it just shows that you know, really what they're concerned with is your mindset.
Yeah. So that's the biggest thing is that you develop the mindset. So tell me this, when you were in Hell Week and it was the 4th day and everybody was quitting and everybody was ringing the bell and everybody was saying that they were hurt and they were tired and they wanted to go home and have a hot meal and sleep and a shower, what went through your mind at that moment?
So the funny thing is, for me, the reason I got through Hell Week was I wanted to hallucinate. I never done any drugs in my life, and you know, you always read all these stories and hear all these things about guys who, you know, when you get to the 4th, 5th day, you start seeing things because you haven't slept and you've been just, you know, doing all this crazy stuff for days on end. I joke about that, but really and that was actually true. I did want to, and I experienced a little bit of that, which was pretty cool. And Nate probably can dive into deeper of why you start hallucinating when you get really tired, but that might be another time. But I just made up my mind that no matter what, I wasn't going to quit. There was no plan B. There was nothing else for me to do. So I just made up my mind that this is what I'm going to do, and nothing is going to stop me.
Yep.
It doesn't matter if, you know, I kind of had these little things through my mind, just like, you know, if I pass out, they have medical help. If I die, hopefully they bring me back to life. And I just said, like, I'll be okay as long as I just keep moving and keep going.
Yep.
And I, you know, don't stop, don't quit. And I actually, and I think a lot of guys were like me, is you kind of you get strength. It kind of sounds funny. We can get into it at the event too, but I kind of gathered more strength as people quit.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason for that is because I was accomplishing something that other people couldn't do. And that actually strengthened my mindset in the sense that I'm doing something that other people can't do, that is so difficult that people are quitting when this is their dream.
Yep.
So that I use that as fuel.
This is what's so amazing, because one of the reasons why, you know, because at the event we're going to talk about, this is why testosterone is, and the reason why a man's testosterone is rapidly decline has nothing to do with age, because your testosterone levels are supposed to be very high from the time that you're a teenager, and it's supposed to stay level, you know, up until the time that you die. But the thing is that in order to keep those levels up, you actually have to do the hard things. And the problem is with a lot of men is they haven't been doing the hard things. They've been doing the easy things. And some of the biggest reasons why a man's testosterone starts to suffer is terrible chronic mental stress, too much sugar, too much alcohol. And there's a couple other reasons why that we're going to go over, you know, at the event. One of them is you're either not working out or not working out in the right way. And so all of those things, saying no to sugar is hard. Okay. For some people, saying no to alcohol is very hard as well. Getting enough sleep, getting your, you know, making sure that you're managing, you're handling your stressors the way that you're supposed to, getting organized so that you're not as stressed out, you know, as a lot of other people. But, you know, one of the biggest things is how you work out. And so if you work out, because you should be working out hard, but too many men, when they say, I'm going to work out, they don't work out hard, and they're afraid to do the tough things. And mainly it says, well, I don't know if I have what it takes in my head to do the hard things. But the reality is you're living proof that you can do the hard things. I'm living proof that I can do the hard things. But yet you and we don't have any special gift, or we don't have any special talent that has allowed us to do the hard things. We just made a decision to do the hard things. And now, because we're willing to do the hard things now, it becomes easier later. And that's one of the biggest things. Do the hard now so that's easier later. Quit choosing the easy now, because I see so many men who are coming in that now they have to do the very hard. And they have never developed the mindset in order to be able to do even the hard, but now they have to do the very hard.
That's exactly right.
Yep.
I think you hit the nail on the head that really, anyone can do it. That's the thing I think, I know, because I did the same thing. You get on YouTube and you watch all these motivational guys and you're like, man, this guy is like, he's unbelievable. And you hold these people at the highest esteem. But the reality is you can do this exact same thing. There's no secret recipe for guys who get up at 4 a.m. to get a workout in for 40 minutes, prior to starting their day. It's just, they just decide to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just as simple as that.
It's a decision followed by making it a habit at some point. So guys, coming up July 18th called Man Up. So that's going to be an event that we're going to be kicking off. We're going to be showing you why your testosterone tanks, what you can start doing in order to rapidly get it back up. And then Joe is going to be talking exclusively about how to develop the right mindset to be able to get to be able to do it. Because here's what's really good about the event, Joe. You already know this. We've already talked about this. We're also going to have another special guest that'll be speaking on a couple other things. But following after that, we are going to be doing a 4-week mentorship. Okay, so this is what's going to be great. And we'll go over the details about that 4-week mentorship on the day of the event. But we're going to have people do some very hard things when it comes to their nutrition. Okay, we're going to do some very hard things when it comes to exercise. We're going to show you how we do it. We're going to have you do some very hard things when it comes to leadership and improving and being the leader of your family. And we're also going to do some hard things when it comes to some hand-to-hand combat. And this is, in this day and age, this is very important. How do you protect yourself? How do you protect yourself, especially in this day and age? And I would probably say that you would be an expert in how to do that.
Well, I think one thing I want to say is I think now, if anybody's ever, because I know there's a lot of guys who have thought like they want to do this, they want to get their diet right, they want to get their workouts, but it's like, how do I get this started? This is actually the perfect opportunity now to jump in and actually get it done and really kickstart it and do it right. I mean, especially in the environment we're in the world, and also this quarantine stuff. I mean, I think now is the perfect time to really maximize this area that you're at in your life right now. So
yep, I 100% agree, because a lot of men say, I don't know where to start, I don't know how to do it. But first, we're going to get the mindset right, and then we're going to be actually having an objective every single week to start adding, so that we're not adding everything all at once, especially. So ladies, if you're watching this right now, make sure you share this with your husband. Make sure you share this with your friends. This is going to be in Yorkville, Illinois. So this is, if you're within a 30-minute radius or so, this event is going to be just for your husband, but you're going to have to show it to him. A wife telling the husband, I want you to get your testosterone up, probably doesn't work very well. Because I always say the number of men who admit that they have low testosterone is 0. And the number of women who talk to me about their man not being motivated, not sleeping well, not having sexual dysfunction, having all of these signs and symptoms of having low testosterone, you would be amazed, Joe, at how many women ask me about this. And so it's a very pervasive problem today. And we're going to talk to you again about why that happens and what you can do about it. And Joe, we also have a rule, is because I know that everybody is going to say, what supplements do I need to be on in order to get my testosterone up? Do I need to have the Frank Thomas Nugenics, or whatever it's called, right? And this is the rule. The rule is, no, you don't. You don't get any, okay? And I wanted to ask you, as well as you wrap up, because being in the military, there's a real problem. And you have experienced this, and a lot of people. But what's the big problem with men who come out of the military? What's their biggest problem? Are they, in fact, extremely testosterone deficient?
Yeah, pretty much everybody in the community that I was in comes out when they get their testosterone tested. It's the low of the low numbers. I mean, very, very low. It's almost I've actually never seen one guy who hasn't had it at where it needs to be. And the problem is the first thing that these guys get on, because it's, prescribed by their doctor is testosterone replacement.
Yep.
And I'm telling you guys from experience, I've talked to so many people and so many friends about this. And when they're completely honest with me, they say, don't do it. Because I've asked about it, and I said, well, what is it worth it? What's the side effects? And they've all said to me, they said, you're pure. Your hormones, everything is pure right now, because even if it's low, you still haven't messed with science and done the science experiment, because that's what these guys are doing right now. They get on testosterone, and then it gets too high, and then their estrogen levels kick up, and then they got to do estrogen blockers, and there's all these. It's this game that they're playing.
Yep.
And almost to a person, they always come back and say, I wish I just would have went and done the natural route, which is exactly what the plan is here with you guys, is to get not only the diet, but also the physical down. And I think we'll be surprised to see the change you can actually make.
Yep. Because listen, when it comes to what a man can do, because what a man can do and a woman can do is completely different. And when you talk about the idea of fasting or intermittent fasting, and getting the amount of processed sugar that they get down, making sure you're getting enough rest, making sure you're doing high intensity exercise, make sure you're doing some form of strength training or resistance type training, all of that will naturally raise up a man's testosterone, and it will actually do it really quickly. And in fact, the only way that a man can't get their testosterone up is if they've had a testicle removed, or if they've had some major trauma to, the boys that are sitting down there. Everybody's coming out, and you still have two working organs that are producing testosterone, yet everybody makes the excuse, what do I need to do? What's the shortcut that I need to take? And I apologize, we have some construction going on right next door. But they always are looking for what's the shortcut. And here's the thing. There are some wonderful things, herbs and things like that, that can increase testosterone, that can do those things. And guys, to be honest with you, I even take some of that stuff. However, if your lifestyle does not match up with it, it's no different than taking exogenous testosterone, things like that. And those things will just rapidly convert into estrogens, which then you're dealing with a whole nother ball game that is not very good. And you just said it. All these guys say we're science experiments, and they feel like they're in a hole right now that they can't get out of.
Absolutely. Yep. Well, I think too is also another encouragement for some of the guys. If you have been prescribed it and gotten on it, you can get off. I have a lot of friends of mine who have gotten off and said they're going to do the natural route.
Yep.
And they've raised it up despite the setback. They still were able to build it back up naturally. Just doing a lot of the things that we're talking about with diet, exercise, sleep, really getting your life on the proper track.
Yep. And we have taken men in their 50s. We recently tested a couple of men that were in their 50s, and their testosterone went from about 150 to 200, and within 3 months when we retested, they were in the 650s. So anybody who says your testosterone has to decline when they age, we just took two men who were in their 50s. They got older, and yet their testosterone actually got better. It was just that they started doing the right things. They started doing the hard things, and they started doing the things with a little bit of mentorship and some guidance and some coaching. And that's what we're going to be doing on July 18th. Now, we already have a lot of men who are registered, but I know that there's one thing, and I want you to speak to these people, Joe, is I've had so many women who said, I really want my husband to be there, but I know that he feels like he is so far behind the 8 ball, and he feels like that he's going to be judged. What would you say to those men who really do want to change, but maybe they feel like, gosh, I'm inferior, or I've let myself go, and I'm embarrassed to show up because they feel like, everybody is going to judge them. What would you say about that?
I would say that's the first step of having a strong mindset, is overcoming that doubt right from the get-go. That's exactly what we're talking. That's the person you want. That's the guy we're looking for this, is the guy that said, you know what, I don't care where I'm at or what I have to overcome. I'm going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
And if you start off that way, you'll probably have success if you have that mindset kicking it off. Like, you know what? I mean, everybody can improve. Everybody can get in better shape. Everybody can eat better. So you may think you're so far off, or I'm too far off off the wagon, and there's no help for me. I don't want to embarrass myself. There'll be none of that.
Yeah.
By you showing up, it's all about the mind. And
Yep.
and guess what? I'm gonna have some serious respect for you for swallowing your pride and saying, you know what, I just want to be here and I want to learn.
Yeah.
And that's the mindset we're talking about.
Yeah. The biggest thing is there are no judgment. And however, the only time that I will judge someone is if they are not willing to let their ego get out of the way.
Yep.
Because there's something that I always say is that if you have a high ego, you have a very low self-esteem. But if you have a high self-esteem, you have a very high or low ego. And those low ego people are going to say this: I'm really bad. I've let myself go. But you know what? I want to be coached. I want to learn. I'm starting from just where I'm at. Tell me what to do and I'm going to do it. And, that's what we have to. But the problem is when we work with a lot of people said, I'm so scared of what other people are going to think. But guess what? The next person right next to you is so scared of what other people are thinking. And so is the next person scared of what other people are thinking. And when you look at it, every one out of the 20 people in the room, they're so focused on themselves. They're not focused on you. They don't care about you. You are not that important to them because they are important to themselves, and they're scared to death about what other people think. So this event is just a time for guys. Let's be guys. Let's be men. Let's be honest. Let's be real. Let's show you what you can do in order to start changing some of your lifestyle. Your wife will thank you for it. Your kids will thank you for it. Your job and your career will thank you for it. And I guarantee this, so will your finances. Because I will tell you, I was in a really bad place 10, 11 years ago. And when I actually started to do the tough things that help with testosterone and things like that, is that everything improved. Not just how I felt, not just how I was able to work out, not even my relationship. I mean, all of those different things removed, because men are supposed to have very high testosterone. That's the way that we were created. We're going to tell you how not to interfere with it. And we're going to let the natural, normal process of how we were created start to come through. And you're going to become the man that you always wanted and the man that you were actually created to be. Sound like a plan, Joe?
Yeah, that sounds perfect. I think you hit it again with it's kind of a catalyst that kicks off other things. You could be a guy that's like, well, I don't really care. I'm not, working out isn't my big thing. And I don't, but this is the catalyst that kicks off other aspects of your life you want to improve at.
Yep.
I mean, that's the thing is being the leader of your family and stuff like that we'll get into a little bit. Just showing your kids or grandkids, if you're an older guy, that you're doing this. And guess what? They're going to respect you and be like, man, it could affect their life to see, you making a step like that and kind of manning up to it. So, yeah.
At the end of the day, what kind of legacy are you going to leave? Are you going to die with the Cheetos bag in your hand, or are you going to die on a glorious mountaintop?
Well, we'll probably all be dead. We'll probably all be dead in about 6 months anyway. So we might as well look good now and really go full bore because stuff's getting weird.
This is trying times. One last question, Joe. Are we going to have to wear a mask at this event?
Yep, we're going to do a full hazmat suit. It's going to help with losing some weight because you'll be sweating really bad. So
we are going to be working out in a hazmat suit, and you will lose 19 pounds of water in 7 minutes.
Yep.
All right, just so you guys know, no mask required. All right, and also strongly discouraged. And if you have a problem with that, we can't help you. All right. So guys, make sure that you're getting registered. We're going to have the link on this live video on where you can register. Registration is free for this event. And then we're going to talk to you at the event about the 4-week challenge, what you need to do. And we got some awesome things planned, some objectives that we're going to do, some time to be able to circle back the wagons, to strategize, work on our next objective. And then obviously at the end, we're going to have a full out party. And so we're going to have some other leaders that are going to be there to help everybody through that. So guys, your first step, get registered for the Man Up event coming up July 18th at 10 o'clock until 11:30 at Exemplify Health Center. Joe is going to be there. We're going to have another guest that's going to be there as well. We're going to give you all of the objectives that you need to do, but we're going to be with you guys every step of the way. And just imagine, just say, I was mentored by a SEAL. I was mentored by a SEAL. That pulls a lot of weight than saying I was mentored by me. So having Joe guide people through, and Joe, I also want to make sure that you teach people how to kill someone with just your index finger. All right. All right. I'm sure you can teach people how to do it.
Done.
All right, guys. Hey, thanks for joining us. Joe, thanks for joining us as well. We'll see you guys on July 18th. Make sure that you like this. Make sure that you share this with your spouse. Also, make sure you share this with other people. This event is going to be absolutely incredible. We have everything in place. All you need to do now, get your ego out of the way and show up, and I guarantee you, your life will be never the same. So we'll see you guys soon. Be well.